This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It is 9 a.m. It is time for Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Monday through Friday right here for Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the interwebs. I am Abdul Ali, and I'm usually joined by my twin brother from the same mother, no other, Raheem Architect Soto. Are you in, bro, this morning? What up? Bro, you there?
Yeah.
All right, groovy. Top of the morning, bro. How are you?
Everything is going. It's going.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, we need you to go over to tuconservative.com, grab yourself a Hamilton plan. The website that you see on your screen is where you can go to support us here at the Urban Conservative. Our mission is to expose the BS and to continue to share conservative values and principles and the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across not just North Carolina, not just New York, not just South Carolina, not just Virginia, but our entire nation. But folks, we're going to jump right in because today at noon, we are expecting another vote for Speaker of the House. Well, I, for one, I just got a text message that blew my mind, but I, for one, had never heard of this individual before today. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Representative Mike Johnson, who Republicans have put forward as the next candidate to become Speaker of the House. He is a Louisiana Republican, a deputy whip, and constitutional lawyer, known by some for his very fiery exchanges on the House Judiciary Committee. He is the...
I have to tell you, I
like
the guy. I like him.
You like him?
I understand everybody's really, hard up about Jim Jordan, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jim Jordan is where he needs to be in the judiciary. I think Jim Jordan, as the chair of that, is where he needs to be, holding people accountable. So I like this guy. I don't know if you've seen some of his video clips, but he takes folks to task.
Okay.
Have you seen any of his clips? I'm just asking.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched any of his clips. But really? One thing that I will say that may break him from not being able to get to the magic number of 217, and you know what that is?
What's that?
He voted to overturn the 2020 elections, which has been a sticking point.
Let me ask you a question. At what point? You're not gonna get a speaker if we go through. They can't all agree on everything, and it's not even just this guy. It's like, come on, guys.
Well, this report, according to USA Today, says he is facing very steep odds to get to the magic number of 217, especially considering he has more than 40 votes against him. Those holdouts mostly favor ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy. So here's the thing. You've got more and more people voting for McCarthy again. Now, let me ask you a question. Was it a mistake pushing him out in the first place?
I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to go, yeah. I think, and listen, I really understand why they want Jim Jordan. A lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of anger surrounding him. You know, no one supporting Jim Jordan, right? That's been a thing. And do I agree with what McCarthy is calling the crazy eight? Gates and the others that got him out. You know, if you made an agreement, here's the difficult part about this. If you agree to something and there's a mechanism in place whereby you don't do what you agreed to do, right? Because we got to be really careful that this is nuanced. The deal for the CR that McCarthy made with the Democrats is why he's where he's at. This is why this is happening, because he dealt with Democrats, right? So the question becomes, did McCarthy lie? Right? Did he go into the room with the Republicans and say, no, I'm not going to work with the Democrats. You got it. And then walk into the other room and work with the Democrats? Did that happen?
That's what Gates is accusing him of. Well, that was the reason for the whole debacle in the first place.
So once you table that, right? And I understand this is about Senator Johnson and where we're at this moment, right? And about him. But are we where we are if that didn't happen? And
the answer is no.
Okay, so with that, was the question becomes, you know, in light of, is this guy going to get the 217? Are we going to end up with a Speaker of the House this week? Who knows?
Well, let me. I'm gonna see which of these trigger words.
I have it on. Listen, I have it on good information. McCarthy's coming back.
Huh?
I have it on good information. McCarthy's coming back. So let that be documented here.
Ooh, buddy. Well, listen. It says Mike has solidified and distinguished his reputation. Listen, as a principled, full spectrum conservative. I've never heard that term before. Have you ever heard the term a full spectrum conservative? No. What does that even mean?
I don't know what that could possibly mean.
It says, okay, let me give you maybe this will help, because we only got 3 more minutes on this. So let me see. Mike is a dedicated husband and a father of 4, as well as a constitutional law attorney who has devoted his life and career to fighting for the fundamental freedoms and traditional values that have always been a priority to the people of Louisiana. Prior to his election to Congress for nearly 20 years, Mike successfully litigated high-profile constitutional law cases in district and appellate courts. He is widely recognized as a leading defender of the right to life, religious liberty, free speech, the Second Amendment, and free market principles. He solidified his distinguished reputation as a principled, full-spectrum conservative as the representative for the 4th District of Louisiana. He's also been a trusted ally of President Donald Trump.
All right, this is boring. This is wasting moments, because I get all of that, right? Because he's probably not going to be the guy, right? Hold on.
He's not going to be the guy.
Look what you see on your screen, right? And this is where his name comes up. At the description, it says Matt Gaetz accuses McCarthy of scuttling Scalise. Let's say that's true. What does that tell you? McCarthy has the what?
The juice.
If he was able to scuttle Jordan, does that even further bolster that he has the juice?
He's got the juice.
Now you're accusing him of scuttling Scalise, Jordan, and Emmer, but failed to stop Mike Johnson. Let's hear Matt Gaetz before we go to commercial.
He got, at first, 30-some-odd people and then 40-some-odd people to vote for him. And the McCarthy objective was to block any other candidate from being able to assume the speakership. And after a while, that became evident. McCarthy scuttled Scalise. He ultimately scuttled Jordan. He ultimately scuttled Emmer. And at the end of the day, the universal appeal of Mike Johnson was too strong for him to oppose. Hours ago, Congressman Molinaro of New York stood up and made a unanimous consent request after Mr. Emmer had pulled out for us at that exact moment to take a roll call vote on Mike Johnson. And guess which member of Congress objected to that unanimous consent request? Kevin McCarthy, because he hadn't figured out a way to sabotage Mike Johnson. Mike is the right guy. He's an inspirational leader. I'm so excited to go elect him Speaker of the House.
Can you talk a little bit more about why you think Johnson is the right fit for the job?
Yeah, he is really an oversight bulldog. I've been sitting next to Mike Johnson for 7 years on the House Judiciary Committee. We are no longer going to have the logjam for subpoenas and for oversight and for the rigorous work that our call demands. Also, as the Republican Study Committee chairman, he was a real fiscal hawk, and he showed how to put downward pressure on spending. And unlike even other candidates who I enthusiastically supported, Mike Johnson wants to move away from governing by continuing resolution, and he wants to have spending bills that address single issues. I don't think we're going to, you heard a lot of the Speaker Designate's discussion about Israel in his remarks, but you didn't hear this obsession to follow the Biden administration lashing Israel to Ukraine and forcing our goodwill toward Israel to carry the political anchor that is Ukraine funding at this time in the House Republican caucus. So
there you go. So that's where we're at.
We'll keep our eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're checking out Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Representative Mike Johnson headed to a vote at about noonish. We're going to take a quick commercial break, come right back, and see if UFC can save Bud Light. Don't go nowhere. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back. Top of the morning here on the Urban Conservative. You are checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the interweb. I am Abdul Ali, joined by my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto. If you haven't done so already, give us a like, share, follow, and a subscribe. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, can UFC save Bud Light? First of all, I don't even drink Bud Light. Are you a Bud Light drinker, bro? Do you drink Bud Light?
Nah, I'm good on that, bro.
Have you at any point ever been like, you know what, I think I'll go grab a Bud Light?
Bud Light is like fart water. I can't even lie to you. Everybody I knew that drank Bud Light, and then had the beer farts after. I can't do Bud Light, buddy. That's not.
He said everybody I knew that drunk Bud Light got the beer fart juice. So Bud Light, obviously embroiled in controversy in recent months, will become the official beer of UFC.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was at that meeting with Dana White as a fan of the UFC, as someone who's been following the UFC since UFC 1, and we are now going to UFC 197. Wait, no, 297, right? We're coming up on 300 UFCs. I can tell you I wouldn't have done that one. I'd have stuck with Modelo, because Modelo was the official beer of the UFC, and I even would go buy a Modelo just to put it in the refrigerator to feel like I was supporting the brand. I'm going to keep it 100 with you, because I don't.
Well, what people, and I don't know if you know this or not, but Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light were UFC's original beer sponsors more than 15 years ago.
Obviously. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see how long it lasts, because if Dana's bottom line, if Dana and Lorenzo and those guys' bottom line becomes slightly affected by this relationship, I don't see this going very far.
So, quote Dana White here, there are many reasons why I chose to go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. Most importantly, because I feel we are aligned when it comes to our core values and what the UFC brand stands for. I'm looking forward to all the incredible things we'll do in the years ahead, he said. Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth concurred, quote, Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light have always been on the cutting edge of iconic sporting moments that fans will remember forever, and reuniting with the UFC is a continuation of this industry-leading legacy. Sounds like to me, y'all messed up putting the tranny on the can. Y'all trying to recover, bro. That's it. Just sounds like what they're trying to do is recover. That's all that is. So we'll see. You're not going to stop watching UFC because they got the guy in the bottle, right?
If they put the thing is, they're not going to put any transgender of any of that stuff. The ads you're going to see come from Anheuser-Busch are going to be American patriotic. Ain't none of that shit.
Do you
Go and
love
paint a white.
America?
Yeah,
America's
that's what you
America.
got coming. That's what you got coming.
All right. Well, we shall keep our eye on it. And I know this was important because you are a big UFC fan. I dabble in the MMAs a little bit, not as heavy as you, but it's interesting to see that the company trying to recover after that debacle of last year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover one other quick thing for this fast episode this morning, and we will be right back here on Top of the Morning. Going to take a quick commercial break. Come right back. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. All right, y'all, you're back on Top of the Morning with the TUC Twins. One last thing I want to bring up this morning, bro, before we get on out of here, before we head out to do our runs for the day, I can't understand this, bro. I do understand it. I think I do understand it. So you would think that as an American elected official, whether that's a federal, state, local, local official, you would be, or even as an American business owner, your primary function would be to make sure that Americans have jobs. Okay. That is not what's going on in California. Okay. Hotels in the sanctuary county of Los Angeles are replacing unionized employees who are currently on strike with our newly arrived illegal aliens. The report is credible enough that the district attorney's office has opened an inquiry into the claims. While hotel workers in LA are on strike, the union that represents them, Unite Here Local 11, is accusing them of replacing the striking workers with newly arrived border crossers, specifically those who live on what they call Skid Row. Most of these folks are illegals recruited by the hotels to take low-wage work arriving in the United States. So can you imagine how much money? I mean, is anybody actually vacationing in California anymore? Is that even a thing? Like, I wonder if people even still go to California. But here's the problem with this whole situation.
Here's the issue. All right, let's try to separate the migrants from illegal migrants from this for a second, right? Let's just try to separate them. You cannot in America pay a kid $5 an hour to come sweep hair and be at the barbershop. You can't do that. You can't own a business, right? And have somebody come in, do some unskilled labor that you don't mind paying for, right? For some kid to get some job experience. Like I said, you can't pay the kid to come sweep up the hair at the barbershop no more or equivalent. You've got to give this kid $20 an hour. Right? Think this out. Yeah. You got to give this kid $20 an hour. He's not producing the $2 I'm giving him. So Americans, even if you could, who do you know? Let's be honest. Who do you know? And with the current, if we accept that this position that's promoted of a lot of the young Black and Latino youth that between 17, say 17 and 20, right? Or 16 and 20, how many of them do you think, based on what I showed you the other day, like if we were to accept the disposition, if we were to blindly accept that that's how young Black America's acting, how many of them are going to the barbershop to sweep up hair for $5?
Not a lot of them.
Just be honest. So there's two sides to this. So there's the illegal immigrants getting the jobs, but the side that we need to focus on is the disposition of the people who don't value work. And the mechanism that is the minimum wage law that is allowing for this to happen. That created this high level of unemployment in this sector of people. Because there was a point where 15 and 16-year-olds were employed. They may have been making $3 an hour to sweep hair, but eventually they went from sweeping hair.
You muted yourself. I just remember the last thing you said is they went from $3 an hour for sweeping hair, bro. What you muted yourself?
Oh,
Yeah, you.
I said they went from $3 an hour or $2 an
Mhm.
hour, sweeping up hair to eventually locking the place up, and eventually you're gonna start collecting the money, and eventually I'm gonna give you a little more because you're gonna learn how to cut hair. All I need you to do is just tie them up. Like you would get on the job training that would bring you up. That doesn't
Mm,
exist because of the minimum wage. Because the minimum wage thing is, if I hire you, I gotta give you out the gate 15. You're not
right.
even producing the 15. So the whole point of this is that in California, this is a result of these liberal policies, and these policies that intended to do some good. Like it sounds good, but is it practical? So it's not shocking in a liberal state like California. They've been doing that. Like who you think picks all the damn fruit? How many gangbangers, like how many gangbangers is out there on the vineyard picking grapes? Like, come on, bro, let's knock this off. It's not even.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
I'm
even.
gonna I'm gonna posit a guess and say absolutely nan.
All right. Well. All I'll ask is this on this, right? The question
Okay.
becomes this: as an observation of American culture, right? Even comedians have the jokes about how hard the Mexicans work and what they pick and bop bop bop. It's a
Okay.
it's a trope in comedy. So now, why do you think that? Is that based on reality? Yeah.
As stereotypes often are.
So you run into this issue where the people that should be really pissed are the people of the state of California and the taxpayers who are subsidizing these people's health care. So now y'all out there getting getting off the books money, subsidized health care. Like, yo, it's
Wow.
nuts.
So listen to this real quick. Since more than 1,500 since more than 15,000 workers began intermittent strikes at about 60 Southern California hotels in early July, employers have been replacing them with those union members with managers and temporary workers recruited through apps such as Instawork, staffing agencies, and other means. Vargas is among those from Skid Row's migrant population who have been recruited in recent weeks to work at unionized hotels in Santa Monica near LA Airport, where workers have gone in strike. In addition to the 4 Points by Sheraton hotels, migrants were hired at the Holiday Inn LAX and the La Meridian Delfina Santa Monica, according to interviews with migrants employed as temporary workers and organizers with Unite Here Local 11, the union representing the striking hotel employees. Unite Here organizer Hannah Peterson, who has been working with the migrants, said some hired at the Meridian Delfina were among hundreds of the migrants Texas Governor Greg Abbott shipped on buses to LA this year as a political stunt meant to harness anti-immigrant sentiment and deride sanctuary cities across the country.
No,
Here's
that's
the
not what
problem.
that was. Hold on. Let's correct that right now. No,
Okay.
that's not what happened. You said, I don't mind if nobody come to my house. They said, oh, really? I don't care if anybody come to my house. They're on the way. They're on the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
only sent them here as a stunt. Wait, what? You just
No, but
said
you said okay.
I don't
All right.
care
That's
who
what I
comes
was
to my
thinking.
house.
That's what I was thinking.
You just told me that you don't care who comes to your house, and they are welcome. They are welcome to come. You said you got food for them. You told them we got open arms. I told them, don't you bring your ass over here. They brought their ass over here, and I said, well, I can't send your ass back to where you came from necessarily, but I do know somebody who said you were welcome. And they
Right.
got some food for you. So now I just wanted to correct that because that is the proper context of what's happening. Like I just needed to correct that for the record. That's what happened. Greg Abbott sent them to where they said they were welcome to go. It's not a political stunt.
Mm.
Eric Adams, Hochul, right?
Right, because y'all screaming bloody murder. Oh, we can't handle other people. Yo,
That
you
you
shouldn't
said
have
you
told
could.
them to come.
You wanted to come to your house. They came to your house. They wanted to come to you. You said, hey, as long as it's during my administration, we will always be a sanctuary city. That's what Adam said. Then turned around and said, this migrant crisis will destroy New York. You think this is what everybody was saying? Like, hey, you can't do that, right?
Right, right.
That's a bad idea, right? Like, hey, we bringing everybody to the crib. I don't even think the
Yeah.
ceiling can. I don't think the second floor of the crib can handle that.
No, you're right on point, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. We are talking about immigration. L.A. County hiring a bunch of illegals while the unionized hotel workers are on strike. We're going to keep our eye on that and other stories that we cover here on Top of the Morning. Thank you so much for rocking with us each and every Monday through Friday and on Monday evenings for the Urban Conservative Podcast. We will catch you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early at 9 for Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. As always, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe. Y'all have a positive and productive day. For my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. This has been Top of the Morning. Peace and love, y'all.